Well, damn. We finally got you down here.
What you say? Part 2, baby. I'm glad to be here, dog.
Back on the show.
Yes.
It's your second episode.
Yes.
You're in the book. Playbook of Champions.
Honored.
If you guys don't have it, go ahead and pick it up.
Definitely
Mykel's already in there because he was a previous guest. And if you don't know much about him, you can go listen to that episode first.
Yeah.
But he is my trainer, been my trainer for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
John Hyden's and many other people before that. Modern day, you've hit a lot of people, mostly Sara Hughes keeping you busy as of late, making you fly over to Paris for the Olympics.
Man, people got to do what they got to do, man.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And I don't come out of my spot much.
Yeah, I know.
So
the only guy you got to talk into leaving and going to Paris.
This is the truth, because I wasn't going to go. And then I was just like, man, we have...
I would have made you go.
I was, yes. Yes.
For sure.
We've been together a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like I got into this thing because I'm a dreamer. I believe in dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in people who set their sights on accomplishing them. And so for me, her Olympic dream was her dream. And I'm honored to be a part of it. Yours as well. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to... I want to be what... I want to be the part of the dream that the dreamer sees me in.
Yeah.
And so Sara made it very clear that what that meant. And then it was easy to get on a plane.
Yeah.
And now I wish I would have, now I see how useful to have your own guide, to walk in and be in the same space with, all of them, all the track cats.
Yeah.
All their personal trainers.
Yeah.
I started to realize, like, there's something very special about special people. And it usually means you can't have an organization train them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're special for a reason, and they need special attention. And this is why the LeBrons, Los Angeles Lakers don't have a great training staff. Of course they do.
Right.
But he has his guy.
Right.
Wade has his guy.
Yeah.
People have their guys because it has to be designed personally for that individual.
Yeah. You have to connect with that person as well.
Yes.
And trust them on a deeper level. I feel like trainer, it could be anything, right? ATCs, trainers, blah, 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 Kairos.
Yeah. The whole team.
It's also hard to trust someone who's in charge of an entire team when you have this guy on the side who's focused on you. Even if you're on a team and you're trying, you want your whole team to win, right? You're all one team trying to go towards this one goal. But even in our sport, it's the opposite, where we're all, a lot of people share trainers, but they're against each other. They're competing against each other. And
yes.
I think that's probably why people certain people over the years have fallen out and reached out to you or tried to get in your gym or gotten their own people. Not necessarily that there's a complete lack on the other side of things, but just because that personal touch, you just can't. You can't beat.
If you go to a suit store, you can grab that Calvin Klein off the rack. Mm-hmm. For sure. You can rock it. But if you run into a cat with an Armani that's been tailor-made to fit his frame,
right,
you in trouble. Mm-hmm. Like, the eyeball going to go where it goes. Mm-hmm. So, like, if you have workout regimen that's built around generic, basic fitness, health, strength, tendon strength.
It's like going to PT. Like lately, the doctor prescribed me PT, right? It was like,
that's right.
Man, I can't go to, like, the PT down the street. Like, that will not work for me.
No.
I might as well just YouTube something.
Yes.
And do it at home.
And if you're serious and you're looking for an edge, you're looking for an edge any way you can find it. Mm-hmm. And if it can be in your training that you get 1% better.
Yeah.
That 1% better could be the difference between a trip to Paris or Paris Street.
Yeah.
So, like, I like athletes who want the best for themselves.
Yeah.
And are willing to do whatever is necessary to do that. And normally convenience is not the answer.
Right.
If it's convenient, if you can fall out your bed and land in it, it's probably not going to get you where you want to go.
Yeah. What I think is so unique about beach volleyball that haven't really seen in other sports is that we're just so like on our own, you know, like,
Yeah.
because like there's other individual sports. Let's take tennis or golf, and obviously the people lower down the tier are maybe dealing with what we're dealing with, but not in many other sports where the elites aren't really able to create that big team and invest a ton in themselves financially because of what it's paid out, or whatever. You know, golf is a very individual sport, tennis is a very individual sport, but those elite people have so much funds and resources that they can afford to create these teams around themselves that just travel with them and they're focused on them, and they can actually tell you what to do and like how to do it. And this, you know, like when you come from a college sport or something, whereas you come out on the beach, it's like, okay, here's what you do, whatever you think, that's it. And you're like, you know, usually you're young, right, in your early 20s, you're like, I don't know what to do. Like, I've always been told what to do, like, to be successful. And so in our sport, you really just have to build it from the ground up. And just like, for me at least, when I got obviously when I got partnered up with John, it was like, I'm going to hold on to this thing as hard as I can. And then I got in your gym, same thing. So I had you two, and that was my foundation of like elite knowledge and like how to be a professional athlete early on. Obviously, I grow, learn my own stuff. John goes down his path, eventually retires, but I stayed in your gym.
Yes.
Because of this thing we're talking about, where it's like, man, once you have this thing that gives you an edge and you connect with it and you feel like you're finding that growth, you can still feed that curiosity and like it's just that like need to evolve and grow and like stay elite, you know? Like when you get towards the top, like you have to start creating stuff on your own. There's no one else to look at, right? Like to emulate.
Yeah.
So you need someone with you that can like help feed that creativity and that growth.
It's, you know, you couldn't have said it any better. And I'm going to clear this up because a lot of people think that if you go out and get a personal guy, that says something about, you know, say volleyball and their program, and it does. It has nothing to do with that.
Right.
It's nothing to do with that. The difference between someone who might seek my assistance and we connect, and I might connect with, is this: there isn't a volleyball match you've ever played that I haven't watched, and as your game evolves, as your movements evolve, as the way you play changes, so has the training. Because now I'm putting emphasis on things we don't do anymore. You've got more efficient, you've got more explosive, we can go from dead stops. You have to reprogram that whole, that could change, and then what changes it is competition.
Yeah.
Which is why I'll text some of your competitors like, I appreciate that win.
Right.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
You can ask around, they know.
Now you've been around long enough to where my competition's been in your gym.
Some of them, yes. And they know who I am. And that specialized tailoring, I mean, it will separate you.
Yeah.
Especially if you and the guy or girl link. Like if they can feel you, and because like you and Sarah, just to mention a few, Kelly and like you guys, Kalinsky, you guys come in. I've seen you play. We start, you know, tending, I don't know, power work. Then you get you practice something. You come in and you go, listen, I'm working on something. I just thought it up. Like, I just need to get this down faster or this or that. And that imagination spurs my imagination.
Yeah.
And some of the things we're going to find have never been done before.
Yeah.
And they're be tailor-made to make sure that you can take them right to the sand that day, apply them, and then start to really like. Yeah. And in this game at this level, like it's, you guys are 1 percentage point, 0.001 away from each other, and it's like,
for sure.
It's that one block at the right time, because your feet got there, and you know you
Yeah.
could stay in the air half a second longer. Like those are the moments I live for.
Yeah.
So like I can't emphasize enough. It is not a knock on
Yeah, the national team, they're trying to provide support for everyone
For
all
everyone.
at once. Yeah,
That's right.
And it has been instrumental in the
100%.
funding and the facilities and the
without question.
so much. But there's that little piece that a lot of people that are just looking for a little more, a little different,
Yeah.
and some of us have landed in your gym.
Yes. And it's true. I don't take everyone.
Mm.
Everybody ain't gonna like me.
Right.
I'm a different kind of person.
Well, it wouldn't work in a lot of ways because if you know you're invested in the competition, right? So it's like, how can I train the competition if I'm training my guy to beat you every single day, and I'm
Yes.
texting him before a match, and we're on
Yes.
calls before and after matches
Yes.
with all the intention to beat you? Like, I can't do that with both sides of the net, you know? You can't do that
Yes.
with both
I
sides
don't
of the
think
net.
there's
And
a
I would be weirded out. I'd be like,
Yeah.
like, I'm with you because we're all in on beating everyone else.
Yes.
And so if you're doing that to both sides, I'm just like, I guess it's just a 75% in kind of thing. That's
Well,
just what we have to accept.
What you
That's
feel.
what it would have to be.
If my wife was like, "Yeah, I got my ex-boyfriend on the
Right.
side for
But only
conversation,"
here and there. Only
Yeah,
for conversation.
when you're like busy, I'd be like, "No."
You're right.
And I don't think there's any other trainer in the world that does that. Trainers open their doors to anyone that comes in, because at the end of the day, they want to make money. That's not my driving force. At the end of the day, I want to sit back. See, when I watch a volleyball game,
Well, aside from the guys that you saw in the Olympic gym, right?
Yes.
Those people were that person's person.
those
They're
people were that
together.
person's
Right.
person.
Yeah.
Just any of them.
Yeah.
No, McLaughlin, just any of them. They
Yeah.
had their guy
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
their stuff. They
Mhm.
had team stuff going on,
Mhm.
but they had their guy.
Yeah.
And there's something about that. Like
Yeah.
I'm not the only one that think. But this is the thing. I'm sure other trainers will train other people. Like Dwayne Wade's trainer will train LeBron James.
Yeah, yeah.
He will train Stephon Curry. But for me, what makes me a little bit different is if I have a defender like Sara, every bit of my energy is geared toward making her the best defender in the world.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a blocker like Troy, every bit of my energy is geared toward making him the best blocker in the world. And I've had my allegiance to John brought you to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've had Bill, I've had Theo in there at times. I've had, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, in the end, it's horrible to watch. Like I had Emily and Kelly,
Mm-hmm.
and then Emily hooks up with the girl from USC, the Megan
Kraft.
Kraft.
Megan Kraft.
Yeah, and she's playing Kelly Kalinske. And
Yeah, right.
You know, I'm training both of them, and I'm over there, and it's the most suffering, it's the most miserable. I don't want that. I want as little chance of that happening as
Yeah.
I can possibly be a part of.
Yeah.
Because that's no fun.
Mm-hmm.
What's fun is like I just got this guy.
Yeah.
You get the rest of the pool.
Yeah.
I just got this girl.
Mm-hmm.
You get the rest of the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And that allows me to have a completely different experience watching a match than your average trainer who's just looking at dynamics. And I
Yeah.
get to be part of like, oh, we worked on that. Or I know a secret that y'all don't know. And like,
Right. Yeah.
and to see it come to life and to watch it, I mean, it's just second to my own dreams.
Right.
Being part of someone else's like that is...
Right. How have you managed to, because like for those who don't know, Mykel's an actor as well, like full-time actor, doing every level of acting that you can imagine, including the last one with Morgan Freeman, the movie Gunner. Check it out if you haven't. Like, how do you manage? It seems like you're, like, if I looked at you, it'd be like, man, his passion is just going and getting it.
Yeah.
Acting, creating, you've directed and produced,
Yeah.
what, I don't know, 10 movies, more? I don't know,
Yes,
however
features.
many. Yeah,
Yeah.
features. At this point, been a part of
Great.
other giant productions,
Yes.
Paper Tigers,
That's
Gunner,
great. Their franchise.
So that there's the acting part of it, but then you look at how you take care of your body.
Yes.
Proof is in the pudding here. And then the way that you're a family man, you got kids, you got all that. I was like, okay, that's a full package right there. But then there's this whole other flip side where you take care of people in your gym every day, like all day, every day. I don't know when you make these movies. I don't even know you're making movies. It's just like, no, Mykel's just in the gym helping people. Grandmas, grandpas, kids.
Doctors.
Yeah, you're helping doctors. Doctors are telling you, which is actually validates a lot of the stuff you say, because I know that a lot of your stuff's coming from medical journals or medical professionals.
Yes.
But like, how do you manage both sides of that coin of like taking such great care of yourself, striving to be so elite in one way, yet being so selfless and like dedicating your life to helping others in another?
Anybody knows me knows I'm a spiritual guy. I am.
Yes.
I'm not. I don't believe in limited spirituality. I don't believe in a God that limits you. So for me, if you don't obey your passion, and He's given me two of them, then neither will flourish. Like if I don't feed, here's what I do. I'm constantly. There isn't a second of my life that isn't consumed by one or the other, and there is no. What am I going to do? I have no downtime because I got too much to learn and too much to think about and too much to watch and too much to be like, it's like I have to plan it.
But if you didn't love it, it would burn you out instantly.
I would be burnt out.
Right.
You can't do it if you don't love it.
Right.
This is why I'm selective about who I see, because like an exchange of energy is very real. All you got to do is be around someone who sucks all yours out.
Right.
So I need someone at 4:30 in the morning when I'm going to have to be of service. I need to be seeing someone who hits me with a bolt of energy. And then that energy I'm going to use to transfer into the next person who I know. So I kind of know my energy level people.
Right.
I have no vamps. They're all gone. And so when people are like, what about this time? I'm not putting you. I'm putting you where your energy source. Like, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like by 10 o'clock, even though I've been up since 4 a.m., by 10 p.m., I'm like, I haven't even really thought about it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? Because every time I'm in Consulter thinking about you, I'm excited about it. Oh, wait till I do this. And Sarah and Kelly and Billy and anyone else I like. And then I'll I got tablets everywhere. I got books and journals everywhere. I got a network of people I can consult with. And I sit down, notebook. Yeah. Start writing or start creating. Or like, my guy, his ankle, like.
What about like prioritizing, like things that got to get done? How do you know what to hit on what day? Like for me, when I have a ton going on, it's hard for me to select what to hit when. Like I have to know my priorities and the filters, right? Like the boxes. I got to be like, what's priority number one? Well, family and stuff, right? So as long as that's checked, okay, now I can move into whatever, me. And that check, okay, volleyball. Okay, that's checked, okay, business. You know, like good. Stuff like that.
I think people who, it's not your passion to line up your stuff.
No.
So you need to, because you'll get caught up in your passion and other things go to the wayside.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about all of it. It all means the same to me. And what happens is, there is no moment where I'm not already planning for that next big moment in every single aspect of it. So like I'm writing the script that's going to launch the movie, that's going to seal it all. Right. I'm creating the routine that's going to give you that half inch on your vertical or your delay. Yeah. I'm creating the routine that's going to make that lateral burst just a little bit further out, just a little bit quicker to your feet. Yeah. Everything I create with the mindset of it being the answer. So like it's never a moment. If I'm playing with my daughter, it's like the last moment. Yeah. What Jigga say? Treat your first like your last, and your last like the first time you came. And that's the secret. If every moment you treat it like it's gonna be your last, and every moment that is your last, you treat it like it was your first. Right. Then we don't have. I'm in the moment I'm in. Like I'm in Paris. I'm not thinking about nothing but that. Right. I'm in this moment with you. I'm not thinking about and you guys know it. Like the thing about somebody across from you, they know when you ain't home.
Yeah.
They know when you somewhere else.
Yeah.
They know when your attention. It's a disrespect. It's dishonest it lacks gratitude for the moment.
Right.
So I'm a big now guy, a big moment guy.
Yeah.
And I think all moments in life are big. I walked past my mom. She's in rehab. And I looked at her. And in that moment, I realized, like, that I need to embrace the moment I have at this very second because it may be her last second. And that allows me to keep away from what could happen and what might happen because it's not happening.
Right.
What's happening is like she's sitting in front of me and I have an opportunity to hug her and kiss her and help her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how I live all of it.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter walks by my face. I don't say to myself, I'm going to hug you in a minute. I'm busy. I stop what I'm doing. You've seen that.
Yeah.
They'll just walk right in the middle of the workout.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to be like, hold up, like, hold it.
Yeah.
I'll hug my daughter, give her a
Right.
kiss. Now, up.
We're going to get a little extra burn that day. A little 2 extra seconds.
Yes, I do suck at the count. But,
Yeah.
hey, listen. It's all for you.
Yeah.
Extra's good.
Mm-hmm.
Extra's good, bro. So, like, I have a lot to do.
Yeah.
And I don't take any of it lightly.
Mm-hmm. How do you manage to, like, we're talking about you want to stay present all the time, you know? Like, and for me, like,
Yes.
sometimes I think more so than, like, I think I'm, like, pretty optimistic guy, right? I'm really always very, not always grateful. Like, I could always be more grateful, but, like, I'm always okay with my past.
Yes.
I don't have regrets and stuff like that. But for me, the struggle sometimes is future. Like, I just, like,
You future
anxious.
travel. You do future travel.
I get anxious. And you probably, you see it in workouts and stuff, right? Where I'm like, whoa, what about the next move or the next?
Yes.
Where does that, just being okay in the present and just, I guess, trusting or having faith that the future is going to work out based on.
I'm actually paranoid that I'm going to miss something.
Oh, interesting.
I'm paranoid you're going to say something that could unlock the whole box I've been working on all month.
Versus a paranoia of what's going to happen.
Yes.
You're a paranoia of leaving the moment
Yes.
and missing what's happening.
Yes.
Whoa, interesting.
Because when you deal with elite athletes, there isn't a lot. But I've read somewhere or heard somewhere that with somebody wrote a book about greatness, the difference between those who achieve it and those who don't, and the adjustments necessary. And I wish I could remember the name, but I read it, and I believed it the second I read it. It said, the problem with people is they think they're this far away from being great.
Right.
But really, it's like that.
Yeah.
You can make one small adjustment here and there, and then bang, unlock the whole box.
You know who reminds me of that the most, and it's actually really cool to have seen, especially with the position I'm in, is Sara Hughes. Who came into your gym. We were talking about it earlier, how when she came in the gym, it was just day one, and she's like, yep, this is what I've been looking for. But, like, to see, like, because I think a lot of people forget how high she was coming out of college and then playing with Summer Ross.
Yes.
And then partner switch situation, or Summer went and moved on. Now she didn't have that. And people couldn't tell, or maybe Sara, I don't know, I have to ask her, but, like, her level seemed like it went down. And whether that was managing a new partner, team brings her level down, or her level was high enough, but the team wasn't there, or, whatever it might be. But then she maintained herself that whole time, that fire she's always had, like that
Stayed true to
that dog, right?
Yeah.
Stayed true to it. And then she found the little thing, and it clicked. It was that 1%, and boom, right back up. But now higher, world champion. I feel like it's super inspirational actually for me, especially with the position I'm in, where I've been up to the highs. Now I feel like I'm in a low or a reset or whatever the hell you want to call it. But it's like, oh yeah, you're not as far off, like you said. You're not as far off as you think you are. But it'd be easy for me to convince myself that, man, like, I got to climb all the way back up to the top.
Yep.
Like,
and that's not true.
Nah, I don't think it's that far.
It's not. And,
The bottom's not that far either.
no, it's
Right.
not. But why else would you walk on the edge if you
Right.
couldn't hurt yourself
Right,
from
right,
falling?
right,
Like,
yeah.
that's no fun.
Yeah.
Let's understand there is a bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and that bottom hurts.
Yeah. And some of us might convince ourselves we're at the bottom when we just
And
we just fell down one step.
Right.
But
To
we're
some of you
so
guys,
we're
that's
so
the
used to
bottom.
being right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
this is why I can't go
Perspective,
nowhere.
right.
Well, I'm gonna be lost in tomorrow for it. When you think you at the bottom and we at the 5th step to
Right.
the 6th floor. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
I gotta make sure one of us is in the right world.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would be remiss if I didn't make this statement about Sara Hughes when because you brought her up in and our meeting. Kelly Kalinske was playing with Emily, and they were doing really well. They made an Olympic run. We had built something I thought we were this close to, like, really getting it. And, they decided on going their separate ways. And I was like, Kelly, I don't really agree with this. I don't even know who you possibly get who would service your talent set
Right.
any better than Emily. You just need to stick with this. And to Kelly's, I don't know what it is with her, but she just decided that, her and Emily had come to this agreement, however it came about. And I'm like, well, I'm not leaving Emily because I believe in our journey. And
Right.
she was like, fine with that. And she's telling me one day, okay, I have somebody, I'm gonna bring them in. And I'm like, this is the part, you know what I mean, where, like, I already see it happening in my life. It's like, well, it's the defender. Emily is one too. And now, but I love Kelly.
Yeah.
That's why Kelly brought Emily to me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
That Kelly.
And
That's my
Emily's
girl.
dog. She
And
loves being in that gym.
Dog, bro.
Yeah.
Dog. I really hated it if she retired. I thought she had so much more left in her. But I can't tell people what to do. I gave her my 6 cents. She said, I got a dime. I said, okay, your dime beats my 6. I'm out. And she brought Sara in. Sara shows up out the court. And I hadn't heard her name in a while. And I remember playing her with Emily and Kelly. And I did not like, she looked heavy. She didn't look like the problem she was for the first couple of years we were together. And I remember saying to myself, it's like, I don't like the weight, but who am I? When she shows up and she comes in with Kelly, and to her credit, immediately she just, this is rare. She just was like, I've been waiting. I know you're him for me. And just tell me what to do. Just tell me what I need to do. So I went right after the thing most women freak out about. I was like, what's your playing weight? This was the first line out of my mouth. Not, hi, I'm Mykel, it's going to be fun getting none of that.
Yeah, that's like, risky with the ladies, right?
Don't like that anymore. So what's your playing weight? And she hesitated. I said, wait. I took a tablet and I wrote a number down. And I said, okay, so what is it? And she said, blah, blah, blah. And I flipped the tablet over and had the exact number on it.
I would say you're lying if you didn't do that to me about every other day.
Absolutely, dog. I was like, white rice and barbecue.
I try to quiz Mykel. I'm like, what do you think? I always quiz him before I get on the scale.
Dude, I'm pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
But to guess what her playing weight is, I didn't even guess what she weighed.
At the moment.
And then she looked at me and I said, what are we doing? And she said, you tell me. And I said, let's try there. No, like, oh, what? This, that. Like, first time I did that to John, he was like, do you know how expensive chicken breasts are?
Yeah.
Because you all know he's cheap.
That's
No,
a
he's not
perfect
cheap.
John.
He's thrifty.
Thrifty. There you go.
I
That's
called
a
him cheap
perfect
one
John.
time. He
Like,
gave me a lecture. He's like, I'm not
he's
cheap.
like, chicken
bro.
breasts.
I'm just smart.
Can I
I'm
get there
thrifty."
with thighs?
Yes. Drumsticks, any dark meat? No, brother. And she nothing. She was like, on it. And that is our relationship. She comes in, I construct, we talk, how you doing? Let's work on this. Let's get you fit. Let's pay attention to the things we need to. Now let's get to the work.
Full trust.
Dude. So now I feel an obligation to the talent. So watching her with Kelly run it up,
Mm-hmm.
and, Kelly had to have, she had to get her knee taken care of,
Mm-hmm.
and there was 4 tournaments left, and Sara didn't want to quit,
Mm-hmm.
and so she teamed up with Kelly Chang to finish the year. They won all 4 of those matches. I mean, I try to train my players to peak, and at the end,
Right.
and
Yeah.
to take 4 tournaments away from a player that's been preparing for 7 months to peak back in, lose matches early to come back and win tournaments late,
Right.
that hurts.
Mm-hmm.
So, she ended up with Chang. They finished it. Kalinsky's doing her thing. She'll
Right.
be ready real soon, right after the Princess drop. And I realized very quickly that, like, it's a huge responsibility to be part of someone's life. Like when you went through that plight and everybody thought you were never going to play again. And I told them, I said, he's playing again. You have no idea what he's made of. And they were like, yeah, but have you seen him and this and that? And I was like, yeah, I see him all the time. And I'm telling you, he's playing again. And slowly but surely, like they just weren't paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
They should have looked at the way your body was coming together. I said, we're going to play. And people think, because you may have things you're dealing with, that the training, or you need to train more, you need to train less, or you need to do this or switch that up. But really what training is it's good trainers. Your sport's going to hurt people. You're running around in sand ditches at full speed, jamming the brakes on. Something's not
Diving
going to hold,
face first
bro.
with your arm
With
straight
your
out.
clavicle slammed into the ground by your 8-pound head.
Right.
Like, you're an idiot if you think you're going to play beach volleyball and not have a situation.
Mm-hmm.
A trainer's worth is, how many tournaments does your player sit out?
Right.
How many times is the only ability that matters availability?
Right.
How many times have they had to put that FF down, that forfeit?
Right.
And if you channel me and John's, I got him when he was 35.
My
We finished
age.
at 51
You got John at my age right now.
at your age right now.
And right now, I've been in the gym for a decade with you.
Yes.
Crazy.
Bananas. John has told me 1,000 times, like, if I could have just met
Yeah,
you
he was
earlier.
always a little. He was a little salty about that.
Yeah, we did what we
Man,
were
you
supposed
found you. I got you in with Mykel at 24.
to do. Yeah.
Damn.
We got our book, though. We got our Bible. You know what I mean?
For
And,
sure.
John, 51, go check how many tournaments he FF'd.
Yeah, for real.
And we were going overseas and back. Overseas and back.
Dude. And only the behind the scenes people will see when he can't walk the day before.
100%.
And then I learned that about myself
100%.
because I saw it. I was like, well, I can't walk today. How am I going to play tomorrow? But John did it.
That's right.
And Mykel somehow believes that I can do it. Like, I'll do everything you say, but I don't think I can play.
Yes.
Just do what I say. Just shut up and do it. And then I play. It's like, oh,
You see.
I'm relearning what's possible.
And me, like, the
I've
rest
been
of the
injured
fans.
for 3 seasons.
Yes.
With this neck thing.
Yes.
But I don't think we forfeit anything,
No.
right?
No. And go look at some of the performances in that tournament. People don't get it. It's like, they just don't get it. But me, watching you, knowing what I know, watching John, knowing what I know, watching Sara play, knowing what I know, what we did. I'm gonna speak on one moment because it was with Kelly Kalinsky too and Sara.
Yeah.
It's with Kelly Kalinsky. No, answer, right? This is Kelly Kalinsky.
Yeah.
She, before Sarah, she had the same thing we needed to get the surgery for in her. It was happening. Go look. She got in a tournament in Atlanta with April Ross. Was told by the physician, back out. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
She didn't call me. She called the surgeon. Yeah. And so she did. And when she came back home, I was like, didn't we go through all those jumps? Why wouldn't you call me? We can do it. We could have got through this tournament, and you gritty like that. You're mentally tough like that. Yeah. And I'm gonna see to it structurally you're gonna be just as fine as if you didn't do it. So the next tournament was Chicago. The next week. Yeah. And I was like, we're going. And she said yes. And this is what trust is. So I take some KT tape and I build this like brace. Right. We called it the Wolverine brace. This little quick, really cute, quick player. She plays with a lot of different, I can't remember her name because she's not in my camp. I was really. Right. They went all the way to semis. And Kelly balled her face off. And they kept asking her about, because she put a knee wrap over it. Oh, yeah. And she kept asking her about it, and she made no bones about it, no excuses. But they don't understand. A week before that, they said that the surgeon told her, don't play. Yeah. And if you go back and watch that tournament, she was dominant. Yeah. And got out of that, and I was like, how you feel? And here's the truth. Because she trusts me, and I knew fear was the thing in her way. Yeah, there were some tricks to the wrap. And yeah, it secured, but you're a blocker at the front of the net. It's KT tape. Yeah. But because of that week's preparation and the way we went about it, gave it a little nickname to a certain thing we were doing, she started to feel really good about it. That was as much of the reason we went out and dominated as anything I could have done in the gym. Complete and utter trust in me. Surgeon just told you. All them don't do it. Yeah. I'm over in the garage, hoodie on, hat to the back, going, what are you talking about? Just do these step-ups. Just do these drive steps. And we don't even get that experience without that kind of relationship, right? Without the specialized training. That you can't. I deal with her, and that trust. Yeah. And everybody else, like sometimes you go out and play, they don't understand, bro. Migraines, this, that, because of and you're just boom, 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 4 blocks in a row. Yeah. Fucking flexing, looking at my wife. Well, because there's
a difference too of like playing and playing at an elite level. Yes. Too, right? Like. Yes. We're all professional athletes, right? Like a lot of us will play through stuff. A lot of us will. Well, some people will sit out, right? Like that seems like the logical choice, which can absolutely be justified.
Yeah, absolutely, not knocking it.
But to be in those, what's elite, I think, is to feel that way, and then go out and play your best.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest.
And then you believe that after that.
Yeah, but if you don't have that ability to go into that place that separates you from all the other guys, you don't even have that mindset.
Right.
It's the eliteness in you that's like, if I could just. Yeah. Some people think I can't just.
Well, it doesn't seem logical sometimes. Based illogical. On how I feel right now, that doesn't make any sense what you're saying. But once you push through that and you see what's on the other side of it and what's possible, then you're like, oh. And it redefines it. And when you learn that early on in your career, at any point, that's easily that 1%, right? Because like you said, we're always playing injured. Everyone's playing injured to a certain extent. But that's that 1% where you can play elite injured. That's right. And that's, I think, what a lot
without excuse.
But let me look at football. Football is the exaggerated version, right? Literally every single guy is injured. Yes. I mean, there's no healthy NFL player, right? No. Like fully healthy. They've probably, to a deeper extent, like believe that they can play elite. Wow, like the average.
I don't think there's a deeper extent. I just think you chose different sports.
Right.
You either my son broke his foot once, in a basketball game I was coaching.
Yeah.
And his mother wandered around out there, and I was like, "Don't touch him!" And I'm like, "Yo, get up, bro. You ain't hurt." He gets up. Goes
Some
to
of
the
the
free throw
parents
line.
in the stands are like,
Oh my goodness.
"You're abusive."
My wife's ready to divorce. She's got paperwork being filed. And my son hits both free throws.
Kobe.
And then he goes to run down the other side of the court, and then he drops again. Then I go pick him up.
Mm-hmm.
We take him to the doctor. His foot's broke.
Right.
And then you know what I said to him? Now you know. There are very few moments in life where you know whether or not you the dog you claim you are.
Right.
Or you the type of guy who will stand up on a broke foot, go to the line, put both of them in the bucket, and be like, whatever it takes to finish this game, I'm willing to do it.
Yeah.
And you don't know that.
You got to see the opportunity.
Yeah.
You got to be able to see the opportunity to learn that about yourself.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's a different kind of guy or girl than your normal, really good athlete.
Yeah, that's been huge for me in just the highs and lows of life in general is like being able to reframe challenges.
Yeah.
And like the more I've done it, the more I'm like almost like, oh, another challenge? Oh, now I'm gonna get another weapon. Like I think like I'm in a video game or something. Like I get an opportunity to go do this adventure and grab that new weapon and then come back to the old adventure but now I get this new weapon.
Yeah.
Because I've had that challenge, I've overcome it, and now I can use that going forward.
Yes.
And that's how you soup up, is using those challenges. Whereas the people that get stuck in these holes, I feel like, in their lives or in sport or whatever, are the ones that are dodging or masking.
Yep.
Like, oh, challenge. Let me
Not
see.
present.
How can I make it easier? How can I get out of it ASAP? I'm not gonna play today, or I'm gonna do whatever it might be. It's not about being dumb and like doing things that aren't logical, but it's about like being in the face of that challenge and being like, I see the opportunity here.
Face.
Like you said with your son.
Everything.
Now he gets to move forward knowing that he could hit free throws if his foot's broken, versus if you pulled him, put his foot up, hey buddy, how you doing? You nurse him or whatever. He doesn't get to move forward in life or sport with that.
With that bail out. Face everything and rise.
Yeah.
Fear. Like people just truthfully at the bottom of it, and it's okay, they're scared.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
or
fear's real. Right? Feels normal.
Yes. But what you do with it, that's on you.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think
like that.
I've had the pleasure of running into some of the most fearless people I've ever and as a me, I'm also taught things. Like watching Johnny retire 15 times in my gym, knowing
in your gym, yeah.
like that's the grit he talks about until you've seen it. Until you truly understand what this man put his body through so he could entertain you.
Yeah.
And his desire to win, being shorthanded, slow, and basically, 6'5" if you say so.
Right.
But
with T-Rex arms.
Yeah. Against the best at the best. At their best.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, bro. I watching, going through what we went through together, going through what I've had the privilege of going through with Kelly and Billy and Emily. And Sarah.
Even back to Evie and Angie and
that's man. Angie Akers, that's my girl.
Yeah.
Like, listen, anyone who's ever been in my space, they know me.
Yeah.
They know I bleed for my people. They know nothing matters more to me than their health. They know we spend 20 minutes to start the workout on loads and tendon health. That we get into, that I'm massaging fascia out and heat treating bodies before I work on them.
Yeah. Sending us home with your personal equipment.
Giving you out to gyms just to keep
sending us overseas with it.
100%.
Yeah.
Because all I'm about is being part of what gets you into the best physical and mental state you can get to go to war. Every time you win isn't always a win, and every time you lose isn't always a loss.
Yeah.
And this is a warrior's life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How has it been like? I mean, at this point, it's kind of crazy. Like, I think people might see you as an outsider of the sport, but like you've been around a lot longer than I have. a lot longer than almost everyone at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone that's on the sand now, probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Phil was around before you started training John. I don't know.
I know Phil was a problem.
He was
Day one.
definitely a
From
problem.
day one, I know he was a problem.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
But I'm curious, like, what's your perspective on the other athletes that you've seen become elite and get to this point? And even, like, when you first were around, USA was dominating the world. Brazil
Yes.
was dominating the world.
Yep.
Now we're in this new era
They're
of
coming out
Europeans
everywhere.
and Scandinavians and whatever, Germans and
Yes.
Swiss and Canadians. What's your perspective on, like, seeing those other athletes and how they've built their camps up or themselves up to push this sport against the athletes that you've trained?
I think they've made anyone who's paid attention, they definitely made me a better trainer because they bring different aspects to the game, which create different problems for your person.
Yeah.
And problems you got to figure out ways around. And sometimes you just got to redesign the body.
Yeah.
Sometimes we got to get lighter. Sometimes we got to get stronger. Sometimes, because you got to win at what you win at. Because when they bring what they bring, they're going to win at what they win at.
Right.
And normally what I found is if your footwork is sound, if your game plan is made with respect for the opponent,
Mm-hmm.
and you have an imaginative athlete on your hands, something they can't prepare for,
Right.
you're going to win more than you lose.
Yeah.
You're going to win more than you lose. And this is the special sauce that I've had the privilege of being around a lot of cats who aren't normal. So when you ask me that, I don't think I've had one average beach volleyball player.
Right.
All of my players I've had the privilege of touching have had the ingredients to be special. They're all in their own right.
Right.
And trying to mine that and present it to the world as a superpower it's difficult, but much fun. I just think that the greater the competition, and there's greater competition.
Yeah, it's evolving like crazy.
And their athletic prowess is sick.
Yeah.
And it just excites me. When I see Qatar go out there and it's just like two specimen, like owning the territory like that, just beasts.
Yeah.
I think to myself,
fire
like,
and confidence.
Confidence, arms everywhere, like two octopuses.
Yeah.
And I just think there's very little room for error against these cats.
Yeah.
But there is room.
Yeah.
And this is all an elite athlete wants. It's a little room.
Finding that.
And then they'll
space.
And they can put the nail in your coffin.
Yeah.
And so, like, what's more exciting than competition amping up? Nothing.
Yeah.
And what's more exciting than having your guys and girls like competing against it? Nothing.
Yeah. It's cool to see other athletes, for me, find their, I don't know, I guess, like, their flow with it, like their artistic
expression.
Because for me, like, that's all I care about. The results are the results. Whatever is, like, if you can be the best version of yourself, I'm confident with whatever the results are going to be. But, like,
that's the special thing about it.
But finding that thing where you just feel like you're in your flow with your own energy and how you can play the game, and it's inspiring to see certain athletes go out there and do that and find that, for sure.
Yeah, and who you should look to that is their partner, because there is no finding your zone.
Right.
Unless you have complete and utter trust of the person beside you.
Yeah, half your team's one guy.
Yep. And that guy is giving you permission to be free or grow. Partnerships, I don't understand this, and maybe you can explain it to me. I've never seen partners break up like in beach volleyball.
Right.
I've never seen it.
Well, it's so accessible, right? Like, there's no coach. There's no, for us, national team getting involved, there's no, it's just the individual. And all the other opportunities are always there. You can always ask, So, like, we're talking about earlier, when you go through dips, like, I've always wanted to be a guy who didn't have many partners in his career. If I could have 2 or 3, throughout a 15, 20-year
my
career.
desire.
Like that's like ideal for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, yeah, like a lot of athletes get sucked into the the easy way out. It's like what we were talking about.
Oh, it's
A
an
lot of
easy
times
way
it's the easy
out.
way out.
All right.
It's like, I don't feel good right now. Things aren't clicking.
I'm blaming you.
I'm gonna blame you. I'm playing well. I'm gonna go find it over there. Find what I want.
Who's also playing well.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's a challenge.
Yeah.
Changing partnerships change is difficult in general.
Change is difficult.
Sometimes more difficult than staying and dealing with the problem that you're faced. Right.
Most of the times. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, when John landed on, I remember when John was doing that, I first met him, it was like 9 different people. And I was like, bro, I've never been a part of anything that was winning. It switched up like this. It's like, can we just get one person, please?
Right.
And just stay down. Then Sean Scott comes.
Mm.
And we never left.
Yeah.
Then he retires. And then you come, and we're back in the same religion.
Yep.
It took a plight.
Yeah.
Or we would have just rolled it out.
Yeah.
And believe me, as soon as you came back.
Yeah, we were already training for 2017.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the only reason it didn't work the way it should have worked, which is it's because things had taken place in between that, but finding that thing, knowing when you found it, having that other person respect your truth. Like, I don't think in your sport, in like the respect for greatness in your sport is at an all-time low. People just look at people like they can beat them. It's like watching people disrespect greatness at the level that they do in your sport. It's like watching people think they can go one-on-one with Michael Jordan or LeBron James.
Well, it's like Anthony Edwards coming out and the way he does, like he'll
100%.
go square up with LeBron. Just like, I belong.
Yeah. No, you've won nothing.
Right.
And like I'm watching Sara. I'm going to use her because you're standing right in front of me. And she has done remarkable things for the sport and in it.
Mm-hmm.
But all they want to talk about is what's next. What about what's now? All they want to talk about is whoever they like. But nobody don't want to get into the truth. It's like, instead of embracing the gladiators who take the sand, embracing the way Trevor runs his mouth and then steps onto the sand and then entices you to take it out to come get it.
Yeah.
Like, you judge it. Instead of embracing a girl who was nowhere, who disappeared and you about buried, and watch her roll like all the way into number 2 in the world, winning the worlds, and being number 2 seeded going into the Olympics, and nobody's talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
All you want to talk about is the people you like, your favorite.
Right.
This is a crime, because what's going to happen is there'll be no more tri-borns. There'll be no more rivalries with Trevor. There'll be no more spirited people. There'll be no more mainstays like Theo and like greedy, dirty grinders. Like, they'll just be gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll be stuck with these athletes, and you know what you're going to say? Volleyball is boring.
Boring, right, yeah.
And I'll be like, but when they were here, you want to, it's okay to root for, it's okay to root for the other team. Their opponents are up to it.
Mm-hmm.
But don't disrespect the truth, which is they're playing against. And this is why you want them. Because unless someone is considered great or really, really good, you don't even really care about beating them. It's that when they're great that you want to bring them down, but don't disrespect the greatness in the process.
Yeah.
I mean, men lie, women lie, statistics don't. You can keep saying all the crazy stuff you want to say in your mind, but we know what happens because they get to meet.
Right.
And this is the beauty of your sport. It's the most just thing in the world. You think you're better than me. Well, I'm not coming alone. You know I got my Louis with me. You bring your Louis. We gonna meet up at the Alamo. We gonna throw this ball up in the air, and we gonna let the ball decide.
Right.
But when you take the hit, take that hit.
Right.
Take that hit.
Yeah.
And tip that cap. As my dad used to say, they did something a little better than you. Fuel.
Yeah.
But tip that cap.
Right.
Don't sit down and try to trash. Oh, he garbage, this, that. Not garbage.
Well, if it is garbage, then garbage just beat you.
Garbage
What
just
does that
took
make
you
you?
out. Exactly. Be careful what you call garbage, because, now you got to explain yourself.
Yeah.
So I just wish, you Porsche Cup, you've done some things in the sport never been done before for a guy your size. Never. And consistently. To not appreciate that, to not watch you at the end of a match reel off 4 out of 5 blocks and just take a game over when you hadn't had a block the entire, setting someone up and watching you study and just miss it and then catch fire at 12-8. Like, dude, this game is easy to sell, but we got to just, unlike in every other sport, they celebrate the greats. They promo the greats.
Right,
they
right.
pull the crowd by going, you want to see this dude play that dude.
Yeah.
They don't, you could be playing.
They're creating the superheroes.
They create the superheroes.
And they
don't
put
bash
them out
them.
there. Yeah, they don't bash them, yeah.
They create them. And then everybody's allowed to be part of the journey. This might help the audience if we just started to admit there's a lot of superheroes on this beach.
Yeah.
Champion them. It's easy to see who they are.
Right.
Put them at the front of your sport and invite the world to watch them get down. Because when this game is played at the highest level, it is one of the most exciting spectacles you ever want to be a part of.
Right.
Everybody that I roll with didn't watch no beach volleyball. Then I got involved with John. They're all addicted to it. Family members down to, and I'm black, brother. I don't know if you've been to Manhattan. Ain't many. Got a couple photographers, maybe some security, and me. You know what I mean? But folks in New Orleans, folks everywhere, once you see it, and they're only watching high level because they're watching, beautifully watching some of my athletes who are playing at the very highest level. They're in love with it. Yeah. It's on the edge of your seat. You don't even have to know how it's played. You don't even have to know. You know this. It's football in a sandbox, and you don't get to hold the ball.
Right.
Like it's basketball in the sandbox. You get one other partner, and you can't grab it and shoot it.
Yeah. Got to bounce off you.
Got to bounce off you. You got to get your hands to it, and then somehow position your body where you can control it in a wind.
Yeah.
With bottles.
Reverse dodgeball.
It is reverse.
Got to get hit by it.
And when you see that as a guy like me who loves angles and loves geometry and loves physics, I don't even know where to start sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just don't know what the problem is.
Yeah.
I don't why they just can't just be like, hats off to this guy, hats off to this girl.
Yeah.
And call it what it is. It doesn't make your team less.
Right.
In fact, it makes the sport more.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so much of our fan base gets sucked into that. I mean, you just see it in comments, right? Like people are they always got the answer, and whatever thing we got going right now is, there's always this other. Well, what if we did this? What if we did? What about what we got?
Right.
You know, it just is what it is. What are your thoughts on the current entertainment value of what we got going, the new league and all that? Obviously, we're only in week 3. Sara and Kelly are on top at the moment.
Yes.
You've watched enough sports in your life and enough volleyball to have a perspective on this, I'm sure. What's your thoughts on where we're going?
I like what you're trying to do. You're throwing things. First of all,
it's more of an exhibition, I would say, right? Vibe than not exhibition, because the exhibition doesn't give point, but it's more of a basketball game, like a league.
They're doing it more like a league.
Yeah.
They're making sure that they're putting up elite level play, hoping that sparks, because then you can watch any match and you're going to find battles.
Right.
And they're creating a bond where this sport seems to have it goes back to championing your athletes.
Yeah.
If you got a guys team hooked up with a girls team, but you don't like the girls team, but you like the guys team, but the girls team has to win for your guy team to like, all of a sudden you're watching a little bit more.
Right.
You there for the extra games
Yeah,
you might have
yeah.
walked out on.
Yeah, you're giving them
It
more to
matters.
invest.
You're
You're investing more of the fan in the sport.
And I think that's going to pay big dividends. But I don't like what it's doing to the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th teams.
Right.
I don't like it.
Right.
People sacrifice their whole life. I just think about how long it took you and John to hit.
Yeah,
Like our first 4 tournaments, we was finding it.
Yeah.
We would be out.
Right.
We'd have never got a chance to then make the impact we made on this.
Right.
I mean, he's in no San Diego State Hall of Fame. Like he's not in any of he's in all the Hall of Fames and wouldn't be there without the opportunity to get a low point guy, go through the quarters.
Yeah. Well, I didn't time that one out too well either. I was like, I'm not worried about it. I only got 2 shots. Yeah, we're fine.
Exactly. But I just look at it like, what about the tries out there what about the Bill Kalinskis? What about the guys who are selling their soul to the sport, have been selling their souls to the sport?
Right.
Like the Miles Pertames, who was at 17 and 16, finding his bones. And now we get this guy who's seasoned and ready to go to work and has all this imagination to the sport. That's not fair because he can't play. He's like playing against the wall with his friends.
Yeah.
Like, there has to be, I would like a feeder. I would like in this, I would like a feeder tournament to go on at the same time. You know, work it out where they can watch this one live and then go to the television and watch that one.
Or the problem is I feel like it's been either or. Like
it has been.
At times our tour has just turned into this feeder tour where the qualification, somewhat amateur level people are blending in too much with the elite people, right?
True.
And now what is the fan base? How do you characterize the athletes?
What are you selling? Yeah.
Whereas now it's very separated, but you only have the very tip top. And obviously this season, it's a starter year, right?
Just pay attention to basketball's a G League. Baseball has the farm system.
Right, yeah.
You guys are the only ones with go work at the shopping center. We'll see you next year.
Right.
Like
at least for the league this year, right?
So somebody else can play.
Right.
Like, no. Follow the whole diagram. If you're gonna do the exhibition thing, don't forget they got feeders.
Yeah.
And those dudes get paid by the system.
Yeah. That'll be the challenge events.
That's the challenge.
Challenge events, yeah.
Make the challenge events. Now that you're like, now you've got all the bases covered. You're making sure the main events are the main events.
Right.
The challengers get people hot.
Yep.
And then it can be this rotation. This guy you never heard of, but he's ready to play.
Yeah.
This is how they sustain high levels of basketball. This is how they sustain high levels of baseball. Why don't we consider this for volleyball?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Because I personally think the sport is incredible. And as a guy who basically never watched it in his life until John came to me with a situation, it doesn't take long for you to fall in love with it.
Yeah.
And the people in it.
Yeah.
I mean, girls in bathing suits. Very fit young ladies in bathing suits. Really? Like, Brandy is not hard to look at.
Right.
Sarah's not hard to look at.
Right.
Kelly Kalinske. Like, beautiful girls.
Right.
Balling their brains out.
Right.
And guys. Adonises. 6'5", physical specimens.
Yeah.
Who, like, move like fish in water. Like, why? What's going on here?
Right.
Like, we're selling pickleball.
Yeah.
You understand? Pickleball.
Pickleball, yeah.
Let's
that's
go.
tough.
Come on, let's go.
That's tough.
This can't be tough. Volleyball can't be that hard.
Yeah.
Let's go. Because when I went to Paris, those people know volleyball. When I was in that stadium, 10, 15, 20,000, whatever.
Yeah.
It was sold out every night. Even sold out in the pool play.
Yeah. One of the greatest Olympic venues ever.
And rocking. Like a football game rocking. Like the stadium rocking.
Yeah.
Blown away by that.
Sick.
Because in Europe, they know how to promote this sport. And not only like losing their minds. Cause
American fan bases are different too.
A little bit.
They definitely are different. how they interact. Like
Yes.
Americans want to just be in the stands, talk their shit, yell at their team,
drink their
beer. Whereas like European fans want to like wave their hands together and like do these dances together. Yeah, they want to be a part of the show kind of thing,
they are
like a concert almost.
Yes, and
whereas American fans are like, no, I'm not here to dance.
Way
like
too
I'm
cool
here.
for them.
I'm here to watch.
Yes.
Yeah, it's true.
And who is making them dance? The American players. Like we make them dance like it. I mean,
yeah,
we have some special players here.
Yeah.
So like, I just don't get it. Like that, watching two of the greatest moments for me that just come to my mind when I think about like blowing me away. One was when you and I watched John and Theo win Hermosa. You haven't played in, I don't know, 2 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there, and I know where we were in our training regimen, and I could feel you behind me, like I'm done watching.
That was very uncomfortable.
You didn't have to tell me. You were like pacing, and I'm thinking, oh God, I don't know if we're ready. And you were like, I'm playing next tournament. That's the last thing you said. John, they won. You turned and whispered in my ear, yeah, I'm gonna play next tournament. And I was like, yeah, I know. Because we'd come so far, though, and I just didn't know you were going to let that come out your mouth that soon. But it was beautiful because, like, it was time.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
You had announced a couple. I thought you were settling into this announcing thing, which was going to make me sick. But
not quite.
You were good at it.
I did settle in, see?
Yep.
Right?
Real settled, brother.
But I got to play, too.
Real settled. And watching Sara get her due.
Yeah.
At the Olympics when they announced her name.
Mm-hmm.
Because they blacked them. First, it's like crazy.
Oh, they went dark
then
with the stadium?
Go dark, and then they say, Sara Hughes, and she walks out, and a bomb exploded.
Sick.
And I
got her proper intro.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't know why the announcers can't just say 4-time NCAA, blah, 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 17 or whatever, how many tournaments,
right.
World champion. Just run the resume. Why are we into like mom did real estate? This is not helping.
Uh-huh.
People who don't know the sport, let me know what I'm looking at.
Right.
Especially
when it's greatness. Yeah.
When it's greatness.
Yeah.
7-time winner, AVP,
right.
MVP, best defender
right.
in the world. Like, now I'm going to watch. But
yeah.
when you're like, oh, from San Jose, nobody don't care about that.
It shouldn't be hard to introduce Phil.
I mean, what do we do?
Like, you just list a few things off and just blow people's minds.
Flip the Wikipedia and let it ride.
Yeah.
All of you guys, you know how hard it is to win the AVP tournament? I know. We're all used to like seeing you on Sunday and like, it's hard enough where when I met Johnny won one. He won one. He was 35.
Yeah.
He'd won one, and they were like, Lambo won that for you.
Right. Yeah.
That's how hard it is.
Yeah.
So like, I just want people to understand like, give this person their due. 4-time AVP title winner. You just introduce these athletes. They worked there to get where they're at.
Yeah.
Let the world know what we're seeing.
Yeah.
And they, I know it feels community and it feels like family, and it's nice to know that you know them personally or whatever, but this is battle.
Yeah.
If these girls never lost a game in college, great.
Mm-hmm.
136 straight tournaments together, great. But they've done some things in the sport now. Give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
First-time Olympiads, 2-time Olympiad with Kelly Chang. I've never heard that mentioned yet.
Right.
But in the Olympics, guess what they did?
Right.
They pulled the Wikipedia out. They said world champions. They said NCAA 3-time champion. They said blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Just the truth.
Right.
Sara Hughes.
Right. Now you're like, oh.
Yeah.
That's what I'm watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelly Chang. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, let's see what they're going against.
That's been a big thing, I think, in our sport in general, is the storytelling ability of the media behind our sport, from advertising, PR, all that stuff. I mean, it's partially the reason, like the fact that I, as a player, could step in and start the podcast of our sport.
Yeah.
Like that door was open. Like the tour hadn't done it, and hadn't, or the fact that
it hasn't called you to like
right, yeah. Just
money.
shows where there's got to be something lacking here, because like the storytelling that we're doing here by just bringing them in and letting them tell their own story.
Yep.
The whole point is to have them connect with the fan that wants to connect with them, or is meant to connect with them. You have to make that available to the fans to connect with that player that they are meant to connect with.
And that fan has 8 friends.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
You
get one person to buy in, one true fan, right?
They're coming.
Yeah.
This is all grassroots. This is like, but there just isn't enough attention paid to it.
Yeah.
And I am going to say what I think the issue is. And I think the issue is, like, how could John at his age have done the things he's done and nobody's called to ask him, how do you think we can make the sport better? Why isn't that being done?
That's always blown my mind.
Why aren't
I'm
you
like,
pulling
whoa,
from
Jake retired. Like, what? He's one of the best you've ever had, USA Volleyball. This person, that person, they're all on your wall. Like, you think we could throw them a few bucks and just have them come in and just spill all their information to our entire national team?
Going on?
How are we not doing that? I keep tapping into John, but I'm trying to keep that for myself.
100%.
Well, we hit our time limit here. I gotta get you on the road, back through traffic here. The reverse drive.
Yeah, brother.
Mykel trained me today, my first day in the new garage gym,
love it,
which you'll be seeing on the wifey's Instagram soon.
Let's go, let's go.
But
man, you've made so many trips down to me,
yeah.
And I wanted to show you and Sara and everybody else that I have the opportunity of touching. I'll make the drive for you too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because it bothers me that people are like, you drive all the way out there. First of all, you don't even know you don't ask the doctor, the clinic, the chiro to come to you. Like,
right.
But it's now it's a big deal because it's me. But I'm going to do what the surgeon and what the chiro, they won't do.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to drive up here. And I'm going to do that at least once a month to make sure you know. Because I'm in it with you.
Mm-hmm.
You stuck in traffic? Okay, let me feel like what that traffic feel like. So I can have a real expectation on how I feel about when you call me and like I'm 5 minutes late because I just got back on a car accident. I'll be like, yeah, I've been on that.
Yeah.
I respect it. You know what I mean?
That. I'm passing this
right
now.
This.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
Get over to that right lane.
Yep.
You know it's gonna flow. You gotta know where the flow is in LA.
Yeah, man.
Rumor is young Wilcox has been making his way up, which excites me.
Excites me too.
Just to see you two connect a little bit.
Yes.
See what that's all about. See if you see what I saw, and
Wilcox,
maybe a little excitement for the future.
Yeah, man. You
for our fans here.
I know the kid.
Good luck. You don't like us slow walking Hawaii boys.
Yo, man. I know this, man. I know that you have an extremely good eye, and people might think you're risky, but you're not. You're, in fact, what you prefer is real fertile ground. It's when the ground is as fertile as you'd like it that you get worried about whether something can grow. And I'm excited to see. I remember when John brought you over and he was like, I want you to tell me what you think of the kid. And for a little while I was like, what are we doing? And then you did it. And I was like, oh, that's what we're doing. That's what we do. If we could do that more than we did the other thing. Yeah. He's going to be. Because I'm like 6'5". That's you. Why are we doing the Sean Scott thing again? Why can't we go get 6'8"? Over there.
Right.
And then Wilcox walks.
Short as hell.
And I'm like, what are we doing? But I think I saw something.
I guess time will tell.
I think I saw some. I'm excited about.
It's a clean slate.
I love underdogs.
Mm-hmm.
The question will be, if what I saw is who he is.
It's a question for us too. Like, there's no way to know unless you do it.
Yeah.
But, like you said, if if you feel like the soil's fertile enough to grow to the heights that you want to get, then you got to plant the seed in that soil. And if you don't think that soil's nutrients are going to get you all the way up to what your goal is, you might grow, it might be great, but if it's not going to get you where you got to go, you got to take the risk and make the change to do the difficult thing. And that's where we're at.
Yeah. I'm going to say one thing before I go jump on this highway and make my way back to the cave, to the pit. Super proud of you, Try. People think you're like this laid back, half drunk, half high Hawaiian. Shows up on Fridays and Saturdays and turns into one hell of a blocker. But really, you're one of the most deep thinking, soul searching, unsatisfied, spiritually great people I've ever met in my life. And you make tough choices that cost you in every way imaginable because you just believe in this thing, this feeling, this vision God has given you. And you're not going to settle, no matter how close we may be to the perfect pot, no matter what that means. And that's courage, my guy. If I'm in a foxhole, my man, and they're coming to get me, I want you on my back.
I got you.
I know you do. And
Yes,
I
sir.
got you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
I said that was the last thing, but I got to share this one story.
That's the Hollywood ending coming out of Mykel right there.
Well, just pull this back and put it somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I got you.
So, I called my mans recently, and I said, "Hey, you," and he said, "Hey," I said, "How's this going?" He said, "Fine." I said, "Yo, I just want you to know, I appreciate you." And he's like, "I appreciate you." And then we moved on. But what he didn't know was I got engaged in a conversation with someone, and they were trying to talk about our situation. And they were like, the problem is, the one thing he won't do is leave him. And I turned to my wife and I said, I told you I was him. I'm him! And Troy just said it. And he just said it again. He won't leave him. And I thought, wow. Finally, something has come back to me that I can stand 10 toes on. Finally, a truth has come back to me that isn't on some whatever, but it's based on the fact that a person outside of me, in conversations I'm not a part of, has stood on what we built. So you want to know why it's easy for me to be like, nope, I don't care how much money, I'm not interested, I got my guy, it's because my guy got me. They can't extort him, they can't make him say things about me that ain't true, he doesn't chime in on the nonsense, and you cannot break. He's smart enough to know ain't nobody gonna bleed for him like me. Like, I'll die with Try. And so, like, and Johnny knew it, Sarah knows it, and Kelly knows it, and Em and Billy, they all know. So, like, having Emily and Kelly Kalinske, when they came at him with some yada yada, be like, we're not leaving my guy. And having you with a conversation that I had nothing to be a part of, stand on that, and have it come back to me like that. It's rare, bro.
Mm-hmm.
People fold under pressure. They join in when they're bullied.
Yeah.
They don't stand up for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They be quiet. They don't say nothing, but they don't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well, for me, if you can't speak, you got no voice, you can't stand on all that hard work, you don't believe in what we're doing, be gone, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But that came back to me, dog, and I was like, the quiet Hawaiian. It's never on time, quite. Stays later than he should. And always has a smile on his face. That meant the world to me, dog.
Appreciate it. That's what I think. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Is like, why am I don't need to make that drive. Like, I don't got time in my day to make that drive. But like, what's the journey? What do I want this journey to be? Right? I get this 10, 20, 15 years, however long, to play this sport, do this thing. It's like, I want to do it with the people who make me feel like I'm growing and becoming the person I want to become. And if I got to sacrifice something or make changes that aren't maybe in alignment with winning right now or making the money right now or doing something like that, it's like, what's the priority? The priority is to do it the way that you want to do it. I'm trying to live out this thing, this elite world-class athlete, the way that I've envisioned it, and without having you be that guy for me that lets me experience having that trainer who cares, who's invested, who's not coaching everybody, but there for me and on this journey with me, giving me the insights of the everything from the kinesthetics to the medical journals to the holding me accountable at those moments where I need to be yelled at or put through pain or even like listened to, right?
Yeah.
Like that's part of the journey that I'm trying to get in this journey of this life of me fulfilling my dream of becoming a professional athlete or just an athlete, just living this life. That's what I'm attracted to. And that's why every day I'm driving up there, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to drive up next time. And then when I drive back down, all right, I'll go one more time.
One more time.
And we just keep doing it.
That's how you do it and not get burnt out.
Yeah.
There's an infusion of energy, as we started this whole thing off with. And if it's there for you, when you need it, it's worth the plug-in.
Yeah.
I watched my man Wilcox go 5 hours to his broad. I'm like, okay, so all I got to do is be as good as your broad. If I'm as good to you as your girlfriend is, I know you will drive. Okay, okay, that's the standard. Okay, okay. Yeah. I see what it is.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you, brother.
Where can people follow along on your journey? And what else can they check out? Because I'm sure they're interested in seeing your movies.
On my journey, and you can see.
Right.
I'll be dropping, sometimes I'll drop some of our work on it. Sometimes, give people a little peek inside the tent.
Yeah.
At Mykel Jenkins, no spaces. They got a lot of them out there trying to pretend they me. Look for the pilot with the frames.
You'll know.
And
Love
if you hit me up, I'll follow you because that's how it is. I also want to know a little bit about you. If you want to know a little bit about me.
Yeah. And
who knows? World has some crazy ways of bringing people together. So
for sure. Connect. And watch his movies because they're dope.
Well, you'll see a little bit of them in there. So if you got the fancy, I'm all over Tubi. You put the same name in it, you're going to see 8 of my features and things I've written and directed and produced myself. And I don't believe in low quality, and I don't believe in I only had this. None of that matters. I believe in the world deserves your best effort.
Yeah, 100%. And they just keep getting better. I can honestly say that.
Thank you.
It's been crazy to see.
Thank you, brother.
Congrats on that.
Getting better too.
Hell yeah. I'm just waiting until I can get in a movie one of these days,
Hey, man, you making movies every Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, that's true.
What I mean? You making movies. I'll put you in, but you making them, brother. You making them.
Appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you,
Thank you for
brother.
coming down.
100%.
And I'll see you soon, always. Yes, sir.
Even if I have to come get you.
Yeah, let's go.
I know where you stay.
Now you got to come out to Hawaii one day.
What do you say, Mohala?
Hawaii.
What do you say though when you...
What, aloha?
No, the other one.
Mahalo.
Mahalo. Mahalo, I'm already ready. Let's go.
Shoot.